everybody. It is Wednesday, September 20th, around 7:40 a.m. And this was our camp spot last night. We're at Pleasant River Campground number 6. This is our view. We're not getting ready just yet. We have a shuttle driver going to pick us up at 10 a.m. And then I'm going to take Brooks to Bangor Airport. Then I will get back on trail tomorrow and finish this thing. So I'm very excited to get to finish and glad that yesterday didn't turn out bad. It had some possibility of moments to be bad, but it wasn't. So that's good. So it's a beautiful day today. So different from yesterday morning. Hey guys, it's Twister here.
And Brooks.
And it is Thursday, September 21st, around 9:30, I think. And guess where we are?
Getting coffee at a coffee shop. It's called The Wicked Brew in Maine.
In Bangor.
What a journey.
It has been a journey. So we thought we would do a recap and let you know what happened on our hiking day. So do you want to?
No, you start.
Okay.
It's your channel.
Okay. All right, so as you guys know, you saw all the things where we could not get across. We went down the mountain. We tried all the multiple ways to get across, but what we didn't tell you is how we finally did get across.
Oh, it's epic.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes. So we're getting ourselves into frame. So the water was huge. The water was rushing. The water's rapid. We could have kayaked down it. I swear we could have.
Yeah, I'm 5'9", and it was at my waist in most spots, maybe a little bit higher to the belly button. So we waited out a few spots where we could just try to see if we could get across, and it was just, the current was so strong, the rocks were really slippery. I got up just above the knee a few times and was just really getting pushed, and it was just only getting worse.
Yeah, and he was great because he was the guinea pig, because I was the one standing on the bank doing this. Yeah. No, I was like holding low, I can't. And he would go out there and try, and then he would come back because we couldn't cross. But then we went across this one point and we found this long, skinny.
Right, yeah, this long, skinny tree that had fallen, and it had been down for a while, so it was just a log that had kind of worked its way in the river, but it was kind of propped up on a couple of rocks. And so I look at Twister and I was like, this is the one, we're gonna get across this. And
this is what I was doing.
And she's like, nope, yeah, not gonna happen. So she's like, I'm gonna go find another way. So she starts to walk up the bank to look for something else, and I just start to kind of ease myself along the log. The log's maybe, I don't know, it's probably 10 inches around, so it's like this. It's nothing crazy, but it's, it's substantial. It's 50, 60 feet long. So as she's walking up the bank, I just started scooting out further and further, testing it, which was the wrong thing to do.
Because there was swirling rapids underneath
bad.
him.
Yeah,
it
I had
was
to
really
keep my
bad.
feet up off the ground or off the water. I mean, it was really strong. So I kind of scooched my way on my butt, just kind of with my hands, and scooch across. And I finally get to the other side, and I'm standing there, and I look back, and I see Twister, and she's got this like face of terror on her. I was like, come on, you can do this. And she's like, not a chance.
And so I did attempt to sit on the log, and then I got off and I was like, I can't. And I was like, I'm gonna go this way. And we couldn't hear each other. So it was almost like we were talking, yes, because we couldn't hear. We couldn't hear. And so I pointed this way and he pointed that way too. And so we kind of walked a little bit beside each other, but on opposite banks. So pretending there's a sidewalk, a road, a sidewalk. He was on that sidewalk and I was on this one. And so I was walking down, and then I looked up and I didn't see him. Yeah,
and I didn't see her. So during that time, I was like, hey, all right, so when I had crossed over, we knew we were crossing into like a campground. And it was called like the Little Brook Campground, which is in Bangor, I think it was. And
Not in Bangor.
Sorry, on the trail. So I'm like, all right, we're in a campground. There's got to be a way to get in and out of here. So and my mind immediately went to, all right, how do we get out of here, right? So I start looking and I see a road. So I start to kind of walk towards the road just to see kind of where it goes. And I hear some people talking, and I'm like, oh, okay, there might be some people here. Maybe we'll get a ride out, and be able to, get out of here, whatever. But it's really just Twister yelling across the bank. So I'm like, what is going on? And so go ahead.
So I was hollering, Brooks, Brooks.
And I was like, oh, there's people here.
And so he thought my voice were people. And then I thought he left me. So I pulled out my whistle and I started blowing it so hard. So hard.
I was like, I remember seeing the whistle earlier in the trip or whatever. It's an emergency whistle, so you know what it is, right? So here people talking, and I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna find some people and be like, hey, I gotta get my friend across, and would you mind, So I'm looking around for some people, and I'm like, okay, she's good for a minute. Then I hear this whistle blow, and it was like, I immediately went from, we're getting out of here, to, oh my God, she's in the water, right? So I come running back over to the stream where she is. I'm like, Twister, you're, and I see her standing on the bank, and I was like, thank God, because I'm thinking she's like in the water, like heading down the river, I was like, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, and then he was like, I am not leaving you. I was looking for a road. I went, okay. And so we just then paralleled each other.
Yeah, looking for spots for her to get across.
And then we found one.
Yeah, we threw a line a couple of times thinking we were going to get across, and then we started checking the depth of the water, and there was just no way she was going to get through that.
I forgot about that. We did. Yeah. We threw our paracord across so that I could pull myself, and that didn't work at all because it was way too deep. I would have been like a bobbing in the water.
Luckily with some patience, we kind of got down a little bit further downriver, south. It was south.
Yeah. On
the river, and I was like, oh, there's a bunch of trees down. There were some massive trees that had been blown over from Hurricane Lee.
And it was huge. It was a huge, like a little round side table, like maybe on in your house.
Oh, it was like 16, 18 inches. It was a huge tree, a couple 100 feet tall, probably 100 feet tall, and at least 18 inches around. It was huge.
And it spanned both banks, went all the way across.
And then you should have seen her face. She looked at me as she came across there like, you were such an idiot for crossing this little tiny thing.
And I was on this big
So mine's like this. Hers is as big as this. I mean, you could have walked across it, or she scooted across just fine. It was super safe and easy, and I just felt like an idiot. And
it was super safe.
She was very polite, safe compared to what I read.
Yeah, for sure. And he did this kind of motion, and I scooted to the left all the way across with my pack, and he's like, do you want me to take your pack? I was like, no, because I was afraid if I took it off, I would fall in the water.
Yeah.
So that was our adventure. We got across the water finally.
Yep. Into the campground. And then we had another adventure there for a couple hours.
So I guess for me, the takeaway is that it was great that I had a partner and I wasn't by myself, because it could have been really scary by myself, and I've been by myself so much that in this situation it was great to have Brooks right beside me.
And I'm very thankful for you. I was in a very bad spot. Was very dehydrated, didn't realize it. Been fighting my water filter for a couple of days, and my knees were hurt. I have a broken toenail that had fallen off, and it was just miserable.
Yeah.
So to have her there for some encouragement and to have her just kind of keep trucking on was helpful. There was quite a few times where I was like, all right, I don't know where I am right now. This is the worst day. Yesterday was an adventure. It wasn't the worst day, but there's been a couple of times the last couple of days where I'm like, this is the worst day ever. Like, I don't ever want to do this again. And she's like, no, you can't quit on a bad day.
Yeah.
So, then we give it another day, it'd be just as bad. She's like, you can't quit today, it's going to have to be tomorrow. So, I mean, we didn't quit, but in the same regard, I was like, it was nice to kind of, persevere. We kind of stuck with it and relied on each other, and it was nice to kind of come out on top.
Yeah, for sure. So that's kind of our summary. It's in a roundabout way. We crossed crazy water. Probably shouldn't have done it, but we did it. But there was no way we would have had a 17-mile walk around another water source, and so our 11.5-mile day ended up better. And so now we are in Bangor because Brooks is about to.
I am gonna fly home.
Yeah.
I'm in Bangor. I'm gonna spend a couple of days here, and I'm gonna head home. My adventure's over.
Yeah, and so I love it because I've never been to Bangor, so get to see a little bit of it, and then after we have a fruit smoothie that's getting made, and after that, I'm going to head back to the trail. So I'm going to continue hiking, and I will keep you guys posted on progress. So thank you for being on this journey with us. It was a crazy, crazy, crazy bad day, but it ended good.
Yeah, I have a lot of great memories and adventures from it.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you. You did so good.
You did too, and I'm really glad to have met him. Like,
Yeah.
you guys, if you need a good person to be with, Brooks is the man.
Yeah. Thank you, sister.
All right, bye guys.